friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Shereen and I'm so glad you're here. I am in the process of giving our home office a makeover and making sure that the space has enough desk space for two people, which is me and my husband. And there is a whole video on YouTube about the process, like from start to finish. But in this video, I'm going into details to show you how I am making the furniture that I already have work for this space. And I have never done anything like this before. Like, I'm gonna break some cabinets apart and create a new countertop, and I'm hoping it's gonna come together really nicely. So stay tuned for the ride and let's do this. Okay, here is my plan. These are the two pieces of furniture that I'm working with. This is an IKEA like cubic cabinet, and this is a really nice desk table that we literally had this in the garage for like, I don't know, 4 months or something, and I've been meaning to use it here. And I just keep thinking, well, it needs a makeover. The whole office needs a makeover. So now is the time. But here's my plan. So this IKEA table, I want to cut in half like this, so I can keep 6 cubes on this side and then put 6 cubes on this side, and then this table will run down the middle. And then I want to put like a countertop for this 6 and the countertop for this 6, so it creates like an L-shaped desk for one person and another L-shaped desk for another person. Okay, so I flipped the cabinet upside down because I'm going to be making a cut up here, and then I have to, I guess, flip it over again to make another cut down here. But I want to zoom in a little bit to show you that I want to cut exactly in between here, and I know I would be losing this shelf once I make the cut, but I'm okay with that because this shelf I will make like a new counter for it. But the reason why I want to make it exactly, hopefully halfway, is so that each of the cabinets, when they stand alone, they're the same height. Okay, to try to make the cut hopefully as straight or as clean as possible, I'm gonna add some painter's tape down the middle like so, because I'm using a multi-tool to make this cut, and when you have a painter's tape you get much less chips on the wood. Now the tricky part is doing it exactly in the middle, so I got a level and I'm also using the level as a ruler, and I'm just eyeballing where the middle would be. So there is a line. I'm sorry, that's like a poor choice of color because it's like blue and blue. I hope you can see it. So let's cut this and hopefully it goes well. Finally, some victory. After like an hour and 20 minutes of going at it with the multi-tool, I finally snapped in half, which is exactly what I wanted. Oh, I'm so happy. Yay, I'm so excited. It fits really well. Like, I just need to make the counter now. So now I have this dilemma of like, what should the whole T-shape finish be? Should it all be white to match the whole blue and white? And I still like the wood accent, but maybe the wood accent can be like planter box or something. Or should I try to sand down this table and maybe stain everything? So I decided I'm gonna sand down this table. Just give it one layer of sand and see what I have to work with. Because if I can stain it, I can get pieces of wood here and stain everything the same color. If I can't stain it, then I'll paint. If I can't paint for whatever reason, I might create like a whole top design something. But I figured in any case, this has to get covered with something and it requires sanding. So I'm just gonna sand it and see where it takes me. All right, guys, this is day 2 of the furniture making for the office. And day 1, I made a lot of progress. I sanded down the top of this and I cut this IKEA cabinet in half. The IKEA cabinet cutting honestly took so long. I think like 2 to 3 hours. I'm gonna say 3 hours because the tool I used was the wrong tool. I used the multi-tool to cut that, and it was just a lot of work, and the battery died in between and I had to put it to charge and so on. So I really think a circular saw would have done a much better job cutting that. And then the sanding took about 2 hours. So I would say in total, this much work on the furniture was about 5 hours, and that was on day 1. And today is day 2. And my plan for today is to create the countertop for these two and figure out paint, stain, like whatever else I'm gonna do. And I'm really hoping to be completely done with this top, like the T shape. So let's see how much work I get done today. I also ended up buying a circular saw. After having so much trouble cutting that IKEA cabinet in half, I realized how important it would be to have a circular saw in my toolbox, and I thought it would be so helpful when it comes to making the countertops, and so I decided to go ahead and purchase one, and I am so glad I got one because it made cutting that wood for the countertops so easy. Okay, so I cut my counter pieces, which is right here. So this is gonna go here like this, and it makes like a perfect like L-shaped counter. There is a few things I want to point out that I kind of did behind the scene, but just to make things more clear for you if you were doing something similar. See, it didn't just happen for me where this counter was able to meet this counter. It happens to fit like that because I actually trimmed just a little bit more from here. The middle was okay, and I trimmed a little bit more from the last one. It was just like a 1/4 inch higher. It was like this. So I trimmed a little more and I brought it down. I was actually hoping for this cabinet to be a little shorter because I wanted to add like cute little feet at the bottom, but it turned out to match the table pretty close, where I only had to do minor adjustments to this side and that side in order for this to fit perfectly. And I already ironed out the other end as well. So what I plan to do now is maybe add glue everywhere. And I think glue will be enough. Maybe later I can add some brad nails in the middle if I feel like I need it. But honestly, I feel like this is a pretty good foundation for a really good counter. That wood glue will keep it in place, and it's only me and my husband using it. The other thing that I have to decide is how far back should my cabinet be, or forward, and how left and right it should be. I think I'm gonna go with all the way to the right so that I have some storage space here if I need it. And I will recess it back just a little bit from the back so that I can have access to using like the outlet in the back. But I don't want to bring it all the way to the front because I feel like having it back a little gives us a little bit of leg room if we use this like with a laptop or something. Okay, I went back and forth so much between like what color. I think initially my heart was so set on like a darker top to make it like more sophisticated and stuff. I just think that it would be really hard to like stain everything and actually get the outcome to be the same, because these two are plywood and this is like something else, like this is not like wood, you know. So I just have a feeling that if I went with the staining option, it will take me forever to get these two to match this table. So I think what I'm gonna do is prime everything and make it white. At least it will match like these cabinets. Okay, so now it's time to paint. I'm gonna use Clorox wipes to clean the surface really good. And then I am using this bin primer. This primer is really important. The red one, they have a blue one, but the red one is really good for blocking stain, blocking the older color, and most importantly, allowing the paint to adhere really well to the surface, which I think is really important in this case because this is a desk, like we're gonna be using it, scratches might happen, and I need the paint quality to be as good as possible. And look at this. I got really lucky at the not the grocery store. I got really lucky at Home Depot because they had this in the oops aisle, you know, when they make the wrong color, and it's a white color, and it's for cabinet doors and trims, which I think will be perfect for tables, and I got it for $2. So I'm really excited I found this. So step 1 would be to clean, and then step 2 is to prime, and then step 3 is to paint. I'm gonna work on this table first, and I'm not sure when I will touch these counters because I want to give them like a really good amount of time to dry since I'm only attaching them with glue. Okay, I'm done with priming the whole table, legs, sides, everything. Now I'm gonna go through with a 220 sand block and just like smooth everything over before the paint. Day 3. Oh my god, this looks good. I love it. I'm so glad I gave it all the time it needs to dry. Like I literally left it overnight, and I'm about to check on how these two counters are doing. Let's do that. It's so good. It's totally holding shape. Like it's good. Okay, time to get to work. Okay, I'm gonna try to speed up this process, especially on camera because it's very repetitive. I'm gonna work on these two counters, and basically I'm going to clean it, prime it, sand it, paint it, let it dry, then paint it again. And while I'm waiting for some drying to happen, I'm gonna give this table a second coat. So let's just get started. Okay, really quick, while I'm waiting for everything to dry, I forgot to mention how much time I spent on day 2. So on day 2, I spent 6 hours on this furniture project, and that included a trip to Lowe's to get the wood and a few other things I was missing. So I got the wood, I cut the wood, I measured everything. It took me some time to adjust everything. I glued the countertops, and I painted the big table, like the prime and the first coat. So that everything took me 6 hours, and I'm keeping a log of day 3, which is right now. Okay, I am done with basically everything. But I wanted to tell you something. I ended up sanding between every single layer of paint primer, and I got tired of sanding with the sand block. I ended up using my orbiting sander, and this sandpaper is 220. It's really fine. All it does is removes anything on the paint that shouldn't be there, and I swear, it leaves it like super silky. I love it. So I am done with everything. It took me about 2 hours to paint. I kind of moved really fast today because I had 3 counters to finish. So I did one, and by the time I did the other 2, the other one was dry enough, so I sanded it and did it again, and so on. So I was able to finish up everything in 2 hours, which I'm really happy with that kind of progress. Day 4 of the office furniture building. I'm so happy because day 4 is the final day, and it should not take me hopefully more than an hour to do this. So let me bring the camera closer, show you what I got and what I'm doing. And once I'm done, the furniture will be done. Like, I can actually start putting things back. So right here, this trim is pretty rough. And initially I was thinking of getting like a wood trim and using a nail gun to stable it. And then I thought this was a much easier solution. I got this like iron-on furniture tape on Amazon. I will link it for you. But basically you want to get the same width as your surface that you want to cover. And it's supposed to just go on like this. And with an iron, I go over it and it just sticks and it gives a really nice look. And yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'll do it to both sides. Okay, that was so easy. Like, highly recommended this kind of solution for anything. Very clean look, matching color. It ironed on in less than 5 minutes. Less than 5 minutes. So I love it. Okay, so this is the far end of the counter. And so I want to add some support here. So let me show you my plan for that. I have this piece of wood. I think this is 1 by half ish, and I just cut this random size, like length, and I'm thinking I'm gonna drill it here into the wall so that if any weight was placed on this would pick up the weight. Now this has to be strong enough to pick up the weight, so I'm gonna be using anchors and screws. I'll show you how I'm gonna do it, but first I have to position where that's gonna go. So technically I can just take my pencil and like draw a line here, and that's where the support is needed, but I don't think this is leveled. I think I need to like forcefully install it a little bit higher so that this part of the counter can be completely leveled. So I'm using my level, and I can tell that it's already tilting like down, so I just need this to go up a little bit like that. So my level is actually the exact same width as the wood I plan to use, and so by drawing the line using the level, I have drawn exactly where this wood needs to go, which is like right here. I placed my level here, and I'm using my thumb to push up just until the level tells me that it looks good, and then I'm drawing a line at the bottom of the level. Do you see this line? And do you see how like this line is a little bit closer than this line? That's because I had my thumb up like that, and it was shifting this wood up. Okay, so I actually moved the desk back and crawled here so that I can do this comfortably. I'm using my drill bit to do like a pilot hole just so I can insert my my anchors. So I'm just like randomly selecting 2 points. we go. So for my anchors, I'm using these really heavy-duty anchors. Myra, I think the small vacuum is already here. Can you find it for me?
It is not already here.
Okay, so the holes on the wall are ready, but I made a big mistake, which is I didn't identify the holes here. So when I put this over here, and now I need to screw exactly where the anchors are, and I have no idea where that is. So yeah, mistakes happen, but I have a good trick. I'm gonna share it with you. I'm using toothpaste. I'm gonna put toothpaste around on the anchor here. I'm gonna put toothpaste on this anchor as well. And that was a lot of toothpaste. And I'm gonna carefully place my wood right where the line is. And when I pick it up, there's marks right there with the toothpaste. Can you see it right here? So I'm just gonna do pilot holes here, and that will be exactly where I need to drill. I drilled the 2 holes right in the middle of the toothpaste mark. And so when I go like this and I put my screws in, it will be exactly in place. Okay, let's do that. Voila, it's perfect. It fits perfectly. Now it's time to test it. I'm sliding this back in. It's perfect. All right, I was right. I finished everything I needed to do for the furniture in under an hour today. Yep, under an hour. So I'm very happy with that. So to recap, I made this office furniture in 14 hours, split over 4 days. And I couldn't be happier. I think it's the perfect space for us. I can literally start organizing the cubes right here and starting to put our stuff back. But I'm probably not gonna do that quite yet because I have some shelving plans for this wall, which is what I'm gonna work on next. If you're interested in seeing how I make these shelves, I will give them their own video, which will be on this playlist of the office makeover. So you can go ahead and take a look at that. And if you want to see how I transformed this office from start to finish, there's a video for that too. I will link everything for you in the description box below. Thank you so much for your time. I definitely appreciate every minute you spend here on my channel. I'll say bye for now, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.